update from the National Hurricane Center, and we also have some important updates too to some of the tropical weather alerts we have as well. So here's the latest update on Beryl. Beryl is still a tropical storm with winds of 65 miles per hour, wind gusts up to 75 miles per hour. But one thing I want to point out as I walk to the weather wall right now, Beryl's central pressure continues to drop. That is a sign that the storm is still strengthening and also could potentially continue to see it strengthen and develop, reorganize before it makes landfall. Beryl is now about 130 miles away from Matagorda Bay at this moment, still a tropical storm, but on track to make a landfall in less than 12 hours at this point, potentially as a Category 1 hurricane, really zeroing in on the eastern side of Matagorda Bay. Matagorda County, you could be ground zero for landfall tomorrow as potentially a Category 1 hurricane makes landfall there. Very close to Palacios is my best bet. And again, this is Monday at 1 a.m., 85 mile per hour winds. That's when Beryl will be closing in on the Texas coast. Landfall likely to occur potentially around 3, 4 o'clock tomorrow morning. And then Beryl will likely stay as a Category 1 hurricane or even tropical storm strength as it makes its way into southeast Texas, continuing to see potentially tropical storm to hurricane force winds throughout the day on Monday. Thankfully, though, after that, this system is not going to linger. It's going to get picked up by the jet stream and make its way into the Ohio River Valley, the Midwest, and bring a lot of that heavy torrential rain with it. But in the meantime, we are going to see a lot of rainfall over the next few, I would say, hours to even days or so because of Beryl. And as for landfall, again, really starting to see so much more consistency with model guidance, putting Beryl in Matagorda Bay early tomorrow morning for landfall. But we do have a couple important updates on weather alerts. Earlier today, in the 1 o'clock update, in case you missed it, we did have now Wharton County and all of Brazoria County. You're now under a hurricane warning, not a tropical storm warning. You were upgraded because of Beryl's shift to be a little more farther northeast at landfall. The orange areas here have the best chance to see sustained hurricane force winds at landfall and thereafter. Still, everyone else under a tropical storm warning, and then the storm surge warning continues for the coast as well. And unfortunately, the storm surge has begun. San Luis Pass, we had reports of potentially increasing to 2 foot of surge already. And then in Galveston Bay, we have a storm surge of about 1 foot reported as well. And with the increasing strength of Beryl, we now potentially could see a storm surge up to 7 feet in Matagorda Bay, stretching from Matagorda County to Brazoria County, up to 7 feet upwards of the San Luis Pass. Then into Galveston Bay, now forecasting potentially up to a 6-foot storm surge there. Also for Galveston Island. Galveston Island, you're now also under a hurricane watch as well for the surge and also the winds. And then all the way up to High Island, you could potentially see a 4 to 6 foot storm surge, probably more so closer to 5. But that is another update. We are already starting to see the impact of the surge with reports of water levels rising along the coast right now. And that's one of the top things to know. But that peak inundation is going to happen overnight tonight into tomorrow morning as Beryl begins to make landfall and really approach the Texas coast. Hurricane force winds are expected to arrive late tonight into tomorrow. And Houston, downtown Houston, could potentially see tropical storm force winds, but then potentially hurricane force wind gusts as well. Power outages going to be a big concern tonight and throughout the day tomorrow as well. Make sure you are preparing for that. As far as the flash flooding, this is going to be another big impact tomorrow, especially in streets. Today we've already seen roads be very wet. They're starting to get a little bit of ponding here and there. And then into tomorrow, I think tomorrow's not going to be where you see a street flooded and then it drains. Tomorrow we could have significant street flooding where it's going to be impassable and you're not going to be able to get around some of your neighborhood roads. So best advice tomorrow is just park, wait it out, hunker down, and wait for the storm to pass, because as we've been telling you, it will by Tuesday likely in southeast Texas. And then tropical tornadoes, this is the biggest concern of the near term. We had one band of showers and storms lift through already. Some of Beryl's outer bands making their way through southeast Texas. Now we have a few more that are starting to move in. The Storm Prediction Center actually put out a 40% chance we could see a tornado watch issued for some areas across Beryl's path with some of these thunderstorms that are moving in. And here is that moderate risk for tornadoes as Beryl makes landfall tonight into tomorrow morning. So this evening, we're going to be on high alert to see potentially any quick tornadoes develop, because that's the thing about these storms with the landfalling hurricane. They can be very quick to develop. So we're keeping a close eye on 13 alert radar, but no one in southeast Texas out of the woods with that tornado threat. And with 13 alert radar, again, there was the first band of storms that lifted through earlier today, brought some pretty torrential rains to downtown Houston right around noon today. Then the second is starting to move in right now. You can see some clusters of thunderstorms just passing north of Galveston Bay at the moment, moving into Liberty County. We have some storms starting to work their way into southern Harris County, and then also some thunderstorms again closer to the coast, Fort Bend, Brazoria, Matagorda, Wharton County, and Matagorda Bay as well, seeing some of those. I'm going to go ahead, if we want to take this full screen, I'm going to walk over to the radar just so I can do a little zoom around the radar for you and get some analysis in here right now of what we're seeing, because these are going to be thunderstorms that will have to be concerned about any potential tornadoes over the course of the next couple of hours. So zooming in here, you can see Liberty getting some heavier showers right now. Just had a nice shower pass through Baytown, and it's actually this particular thunderstorm here that just went through Baytown, LaPorte, approaching Pasadena and Channelview. I was using the 13 alert radar network to kind of look around at some of the different velocity signatures. This is a storm that potentially had indications that there might have been the potential for a quick spin up, but as of right now, looking at it again, not so, at least on 13 alert radar. You can see also just north of Crystal Beach, we have some thunderstorms. So Tom, this is the latest what we have right now. You can see 13 alert radar very active.